What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again, and welcome to my top 10 modifications which you can do to your Mazda MX-5. If you're new to the channel, guys, please consider subscribing. If you're not new, then smash the like button and comment something down below. Really appreciate it, and it really helps the channel go a long way. Now, anyhow, let's get into the list. Now, I'm going to do these 1 to 10, 1 being my first modification, which I would do personally to my MX-5, and 10 being the 10th. But basically in numerical order of what I think are the best mods to do in order, basically, if you're to buy an MX-5. Obviously, this is all personal opinion, so yeah, put it down to that, but this is my personal opinion. I've owned my MX-5 to 3.5 odd years, so got quite a good experience with MX-5 ownership, so without no further ado, let's crack into the list. Now, first thing I would recommend to do to your MX-5 on the list is going to have to be, surely, and I don't think anyone can disagree with me on this point, it's got to be coilovers. Buying a good set of coilovers is imperative to getting good handling and driving performance in your MX-5. Now, there are so many different brands which you can go for, different spring rates, everything. You know, you can adjust your suspension in so many different ways. Your options are pretty much endless, but I would definitely recommend doing that straight away. Also, lowering the car slightly with the coilovers will give you a lower centre of gravity, which again will make your car handle smoother going around corners. So yeah, definitely would recommend doing coilovers as your first modification to your MX-5. Now, number 2 on the list, along with the coilovers, we want to go for better grip and handling. I think the MX-5 is such a good handling car out of the box, but before going for power and styling, I always like to get the car planted and seated nicely on the road. So number 2 is going to be 2 and 3, let's call it, actually, because 10's quite a big number. 2 and 3 is going to be wheels and tyres. Now, we want to get wider wheels, and we want to get lighter wheels, and we want to get stickier tyres, and we also want to obviously get wider tyres to fit those wider wheels. And what this is going to do, it's going to give a better contact patch with the road, which will give more friction between the rubber compound of the tyre and the tarmac of the road, and therefore will give you more grip. Now, this is good because you can handle better now with your coilovers. When you're going around those corners, you need to be able to grip, so you can go around those corners faster. So we've reduced a bit of body roll in doing the coilovers, but getting wheels and tyres is going to reduce that drastically. And lighter wheels, obviously, reducing weight on your cars are positive, and reducing weight on wheels is also a massive bonus as well. Now, whacking it back in, number 4 on the list has definitely got to be something which we consider very high priority on the channel, being safety. Now, what I'm going to say as the next 4th modification, which you should do to your MX-5, has to be a roll bar. Now, MX-5 is a convertible car. It's a car which people tend to drive spontaneously because of the nature of it, how it drives. And because of the fact it's not too fast and it handles really well, you can literally drive it at 100% capacity all the time. And accidents do happen, you know, on B roads, there's ditches you can end up in, people roll their cars. And, you know, I'm a firm believer, have fun, but have fun when you're being safe at the same time. So yeah, a good roll bar, not a style bar. I see so many people running these fancy bars which wouldn't protect you in a roll over whatsoever, so make sure you get a good quality bar. It's worth paying an extra money for over a set of something cheaper and buying another modification, because if worst case scenario is to happen, or if you are to track your MX-5, you need one anyway. Number 5 on the list is going to be harnesses. Now, this goes along with the bar, because with the bar, you want to get a bar which incorporates almost a harness bar into the roll bar. That's a bar about 17 times in one sentence, I know. But anyway, you want to get one which incorporates a harness bar, so you can then attach your harnesses to the bar. That's number 5. Number 6, then they're all kind of laying off each other. It's going to be bucket seats, just to plant you in the car, give you a better seating position, just works well with that whole interior safety setup. You don't want really bucket seats and harnesses without a roll bar, because if you are to roll over, you're kind of strapped in an upright position, you can't kind of bend over. So make sure you do it in that order which I have listed as well. 7 on the list is then we're going to start going a bit more performance orientated. It's going to be a D-cat and catback exhaust. I personally run a Cobalt dual exit catback exhaust system and a D-cat pipe, and it really sounds wicked. With the map I've got on there, we can spit some nice flames and pops and bangs as well. So sounds really tasteful. But also it increases performance a little bit as well, especially if you can have a tune. I mean, just stock, it doesn't really make much difference. I guess it makes it freer flowing for future modifications though. But yeah, exhaust sounds good, one looks good. The dual exit, I really like how it sets off the rear on my MX-5 personally, with the bumper cut as well, with both tips. It looks really, really meaty. So yeah, I mean, there's loads of options again, like so many different brands. That's one of the beauties about MX-5s, is the aftermarket part scene is incredible. Now we're going into aesthetic, because I think when you're at this point with your MX-5, you've kind of got a bit better performance, you've got kind of a bit of sound, you want some sort of aesthetic modification. So we're going to go for a GV lip on the bumper. Now this doesn't really add air, it does have a performance benefit in fact though, if it has 2 air ducts which direct air all the way to the brake calipers and the brakes, which help to basically cool the brakes and make more efficient cooling. Hey babe.
What are you doing?
Literally sitting in the car park. What are you doing?
Oh, fair enough. Just run back. I'm now.
Say bye to the boys.
Bye.
Cooler brakes means better braking performance, so it does have a performance benefit, but mainly it sets off that front end. The MX-5 bumper from factory, if you do get one without the factory fitted lip, is really high, like compared to the body. So even when you lower the car, the front bumper sits really high and looks weird. Like I don't have a lip on mine at the moment because I absolutely bumper-clarted it before we took the car off the road for a rebuild, so I just don't have one. But even so, like the front bumper looks just stupidly high. It looks weird. So yeah, we'd definitely recommend getting one of those. You can get them in carbon fibre, you can get replica ones, you can get all sorts, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend carbon fibre because it's definitely going to break. My one wasn't carbon fibre, it was actually like plastic, and it broke after a good beating because it did hit quite a few speed bumps before it said goodbye. But yeah, that's number 8. Number 9 on the list, following up closely, has to be turn signal intakes. They just set it off, make the front end look good. Definitely recommend doing them, not much else to be said. They do add a performance benefit, but only if you do bonnet vents, because they add an intake into the engine. This is really good if you're going for high performance build like myself. This is going to add a really, really efficient cooling setup, because air's going to through the mouth of the bonnet, through the intercooler, through the radiator, through the oil cooler, and all of that air is going to be really warm from that, and because it's in the engine bay, and that's going to be pushed out with the cold air which is coming in above it, because hot air rises, and then the cold air will push it up through and out of the bonnet vent. So this is going to provide a really efficient cooling setup. So yeah, bada bing bada boom, that's number 9 on the list. Number 10's been a really hard one for me, man, because there's so many, I think, important things you can do to an MX-5. And I'm going to list off about 5 or 6 now, and then I'll choose actually what I think is the best out of those. Hey. Did you get
your chocolate brownie?
Oh, thank you. I was filming a video. You can be in my YouTube video.
No.
Yeah, just say hi, okay? And pretend.
When?
I'll tell you. So guys, before we wrap up the video, I've just dropped my mum to an appointment, so say hi to my mum, guys.
Hi.
But yeah, let's crack on with the video. So guys, that was my mum, but we're going to crack on with this now and wrap up the video, because I am quite conscious that I have been rambling on for quite some time. Let's close up the window because there is quite a lot of noise coming from the road. Yes, like I said, I'm going to list off a few different things which I think are quite important. So like, you know, like a steering wheel, quick release, that sort of thing. Steering wheel and quick release, in fact. Like poly bushes all round, more power you could say, so like a full turbo kit. I guess that's, you know, more than 10 in one, I guess, but there's loads of different things. I think finally, being said, I'm going to say the 10th thing I would do is a brake upgrade. So brake pads, discs, either one, if you want to call it one because it's the 10th, I'd go for pads. But yeah, preferably pads, discs and lines would be ideal. But yeah, it depends how much money you want to spend, how deep your pockets are and how all out you want to go, and what sort of, I guess, idea of car you're going for, like what sort of build you're going for, whether it's track, whether it's a show car, etc, etc. So that list is quite based around performance, whereas, you know, if you're doing a like stance build, your list will be completely different to that, so do bear that in mind. But yeah, anyway guys, I'm going to wrap up the video there. I'm conscious I've been talking for quite some time. I'm not sure how long this one's going to end up being after editing, but yeah, we're going to leave it there. Thanks ever so much for watching. Fuck's sake. They're always so loud, aren't they? So yeah, anyway, I'm going to wrap up the video there. Thanks ever so much for watching, as always. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and comment something down below, or if you do anything different to my top 10 list. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace.